Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hodges Hot Wheels and Diecast. I figure since this is pretty much my return, I would start with something really crusty. So here you have a classic 55 Nomad in hot pink. As you can see, it has just a little bit of corrosion on it. Don't know what I'm going to be able to do with this, but we're going to give it our best shot to give it a new life and put it back in hot pink. So, like I say, these were the predecessor, I guess you would say, to the Alive 55 from my generation. This one looks like it's been sitting on the bottom of the ocean with so much barnacle-ish stuff on it. And as you can see, it's corroded so much, it's missing a pillar. Now, my best assumption is a lot of times people would have sizzlers, which were battery operated, which had acid battery, little tiny acid batteries in them, or alkaline batteries, whatever you want to call them. And they would put them in their case with their regular Hot Wheels back in the day, and maybe this is a result of it, I don't know. Or this could be just something that was lost for a long time and then found in a very odd place. But without further ado, let's tear into this baby and see what we can do for it, breathe a new life into it. Stay tuned. Okay, here we are back. Wow. Look at this thing. I've never seen one quite this corroded. Even got a chip out of the roof. Wow. Let's see what we can do with that. This here, the window is going to have to be resourced. Hopefully I can get one from Second Chance Redlines. And the interior is not too bad, but it'll clean right up. It will, with some hot water. These are capped wheels, so looks like we had somebody messed one of the caps up on that one. Luckily, when you put the front wheels on, you won't see it. Let's go ahead and pop these off. I'll show you how I do that if you haven't seen it already. A million people do it. What to do is you find the little seam right there, and I just rock my X-Acto knife and bam, they just fall right off. Let's see, there's another one. Got a piece of string wrapped around there, which we will deal with later. I'm not pulling that suspension piece out because it's just one extra thing that you have to do, and there's absolutely no point in pulling that suspension out because this doesn't even get painted, so I never pull them out. Set the wheel down like that. Let's see if I can get in there. There we go. Okay. I think what I'm going to do first here is take these two pieces. Before I throw them in the stripper, I'm going to put them in some lime away and see, just to see how bad this actually is. So, stay tuned. Okay, just figured I'd I'll leave this in here for about 5 minutes. Let it work at it a little bit. And as you can see, wow, it's already starting, everything's bubbling. It's almost like putting peroxide on a cut. Just starts bubbling away. So we're going to see what we have after this. I usually try to zinc plate these things, but since we have a pillar busted and such major corrosion, I may end up having to use a silver base on this. I don't know, but we will do the best we can with it to make it look as nice as possible. Stay tuned. Okay, here we are back with our custom 55 Chevy Nomad. I think that's what they call it, is they call it the classic Nomad. Well, everybody knows it's a 55. 55s and 56, 57s are just an awesome car. It's not as bad as I anticipated. I mean, to most people would be like, oh my God, what are we going to do with that? Well, we're going to figure it out. It's got that place right here that is missing, and got a little bit of a dent right there, and I think the roof, it may be just a touch off. I may just tap it up a little bit, and yeah, that roof may need a little bit of work. See what I can do with it. I'm going to throw this in the base. Actually, it's not bad at all. It cleaned up rather well. I just quickly ran a wire brush over it, but as far as pitting goes, I mean, there's a little bit on the side pipes, but I could probably work most of that out. So let's see what we can do to make this thing look hot pink again. I may end up having to use a base coat. I'm going to try to avoid that at all costs, but when you have heavy duty stuff like that on the roof, we shall see. So stay tuned. I'm going to throw this in the stripper. And to make it even more challenging for this 55 Chevy build, this classic Nomad build, I've thrown another one into the ringer just for the simple fact that I have two, and I want to have one to look at for when I straighten the roof and rebuild this pillar. So this one is in a lot better shape, but somebody has been pretty hard on the front wheel and axles, so I will have to figure out a source for a capped front end, which I'm pretty sure I can. This one looks a lot better, but the windows are destroyed in this one too, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and source two windows and a front axle and some capped wheels, and we're going to do these both together. One will help the other. This one will be a good pattern to straighten that roof. So stay tuned. Okay, and we're back with our classic Nomads. My dumbass forgot to film this when they got out of the stripper, and I was so excited about getting started on this, since I haven't done it in a while, that I went to work on this one. And I did a whole lot of sanding so far, but I'm still thinking, and I felt there was a big old pit right there, and I'm using the old-fashioned Marty's Matchbox Makeover super glue and baking soda to rebuild this pillar, fill that crack, and there was just a little bit of a corrosion point underneath the window sill there, which I tried to fix, and right there was a little bit which I'll sand off, but I started sanding on it last night because I wanted to see how bad it really was, and it's really pitted on top. If this doesn't work, I think I have another plan that I can do to get this to look a little better. Might have to do a little bit of fudging, but I think I can do it. I'll inform you on that later. But it's cleaned up pretty well. Everything cleaned up real well on this one, and I straightened the roof and forgot to film it, and everything looks really well now, as well as it can with that casting. And this is the red one that I threw into the mix, since I might as well finish it while I'm doing both. And I haven't even started. This is fresh out of the stripper, and I hadn't done anything to this one yet. So, but the base and everything, this one looks good. Now this one here is going to have to get a front axle swap. I have a replacement axle and hubs, or a capped wheel axle assembly, straight axle, and I'm going to put that in here. And once I figure out what I'm going to do a little bit of research, and I think I know what I'm going to do. We will see here very shortly. So that's where we're at. They're both going to take a fair amount of sanding. I'm going to try to zinc them. In my past experiences, once you put my idea for filling with super glue is that sometimes you can fill the voids and then paint over with Spectraflame paint, and it's not that much of a difference, but I think I'm going to try something a little different. Well, we'll see how it goes. So stay tuned for some more fun. Here we are back with our pair of custom Nomads, out of the zinc and polished and ready. Almost ready. This one is ready for paint. I have this one. This one just turned out really great. Every note, like I say, zinking them gets rid of any toning or anything that really would show up as a blemish on the car. I also installed a new front axle, which, as you see, is looking really well. So, and on this one, we have completed all the zinking I'm going to do. There's a little bit of pitting up there still on the hood, and a little bit on each side right there, most noticeably, but the worst was the roof. That couldn't get it out. So what we're going to do is tape off from here up. I'm going to tape off the whole bottom and just prime and paint the roof silver, and then we'll shoot the whole thing in hot pink. I know I mentioned I was going to use creamy pink, but I'm out. But I do have plenty of hot pink, so it will go back to its original color, as this one will go back to its original color of red. And I think once I'm done, they'll both look like brand new. This one might be just a little bit off, but considering what I started with, I think it'll be just fine. So stay tuned, and I'll show this one more time before it's painted with the silver painted roof, so with the bodywork done. So stay tuned for that. Okay, here we are back with our pair of custom Nomads, as they were called, or later years they were the Alive 55. And I'm pretty pleased with the way both of these came out, since I spent a whole day zinking and sanding on them, and half a week on and off doing body work on one of them. Now, quickly, just out of curiosity, I don't know if the camera can tell it, but which one of these do you think is the one that has the painted roof. If you guessed this one, you are correct. But it's such a, I guess, subtle change that it's not really noticed because the whole bottom half is zinc. Now we're going to take this one away and just focus on this one, since this is the one that had all the work done to it. You can see the back pillar, you can see the roof is smooth, no more pitting, and the lines are still visible in the roof. All I painted was from the pillars up with chrome silver from Createx, which is magnificent stuff. So I was going to paint it cream pink since it has a lot of pitting still, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet and shoot her in hot pink. Since that was the original color, that's what we'll go back to. So, and on this other one here, we will go with its original red. So stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and shoot these bad boys. I'm really excited about this. It's good to be back. Okay, here we are back with our 55 customs, all ready to go back together. And they turned out amazing considering what I started with. And this is the one that was really, really crusty. I actually went with a cap set of wheels. These are a set of new old stock, I guess you would say, that I had laying around. These are old ones. All I did was touch them up with a Malta chrome pen. We got everything all nice and clean underneath, and really happy with the way this thing turned out, considering it looked like a piece of corroded crap. And this is the base for the red one. Get the focus. There we go. Sort of damn thing. So I'll try to move the light around. But we got this one. This one wasn't that bad, and it cleaned up really nice. I went with a set of capped deep dish red lines on this one, just for something, since I had them already. So we're using 25th anniversary glass, since it was just as cheap for me to buy two 25th anniversary cars as it was to buy just the glass. Now I have some extra red lines. And these are the original interiors, all nice and clean, ready to go back in. And now let's start with this one first. This was, you know, just a re-zinc. That would to get rid of toning. And just a really nice clean example restoration. And this one was the bad one, and you can just see it's just a little bit full. The roof from me sanding is just a little bit flatter, and I had to use body filler, and with that chrome silver paint it made a nice base to get rid of all that pitting and to cover this back pillar, which is all super glue. Just made it up, and it turned out real nice. I mean, yeah, there's still, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's perfect by any means. If I can get the damn thing to focus. Let's try this. Yeah, there you go. You can see it's still got some pitting in the hood, but that was really bad. And it has some pitting right back here in this corner. And I didn't feel like I wanted to bring the bodywork down into that panel section, because I wanted to try to keep it as zinc plated original as possible, and only use it for the sections that were just too bad to paint hot pink. But as you can see, there's absolutely no toning in this car, and it turned out beautiful. I'm very pleased with, considering what I started with. So let's put this thing together, these together for the reveal and see what we have. Stay tuned. Okay, and we're back with the reveal of our 55 custom Nomads, which I think turned out absolutely beautiful. And I hope you think so too. Without further ado, here we are. All put together in their to their former glory. They'll go right into my showcase. I didn't have any of these, so that's these two are a first for my showcase for my Redlines, and I've been doing these quite a few years, and I'm really happy considering I bought that pink one as a challenge. I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could bring it back to somewhat its original condition. And I think I came pretty close. And we tried some different techniques that I wanted to give a shot, and sure enough, it worked. So, I mean, you can see a little bit of a difference between where I painted and where I didn't, but I mean, I could have took the easy route and shot the whole thing in chrome silver and then candied it with the hot pink, but I tried to keep it as true to the original as I could. So I hope you appreciate the restorations, and I'm so glad to be back. I had a great time chatting with all my friends that I have missed for a half a year, and this time I'm not going anywhere. I mean, there might be a little bit spells in between because I have a busy life, but all in all, I'm glad to be back. So everybody have a good one, and thanks for sticking with me through all these empty months. And we'll catch you on the next build.